Alright, and welcome to a deck view of my American deck, which is ironically named America, fuck yeah, because I really like Team America, but yeah, we're going to have a quick look at it, through all the units, why I've chosen them, and yeah, let's get to it. So first is logistics, of course, and straight away my only command vehicle, which limits obviously my abilities, with only 4 of them, is this M11 4A1. The only reason that I chose this is because it has light armour, so it can take infantry fire. It has a defence against infantry, and since I tend to generally put my command units in the forest, it would do better than something. It'd do a better defence than obviously, say for instance, this, which has no defence capability whatsoever. So yeah, that's why I chose that. That's the only reason. I was maybe thinking about going with the Humvee, which I might do in the future, just switch to the Humvee, because it does have that speed advantage over this vehicle, and over the light Jeep as well. Next, obviously an FOB, because I use some artillery and supply routes. For instance, this you need to take it back quite regularly to get resupplied. M35 cargo. The only reason I use this, you get 13 of them. You could just chuck a couple of them in a town, help resupply your infantry, or even just send to resupply the AA that you have round about the map. As like for instance what's it called? Oh, I'm gonna have to break the rules already. The Hawk, the M727 Hawk only has 3 missiles, so as you can tell, as soon as it's fired, it's free, it's out of ammo. And of course, the reason I chucked these in as well is just basically because I had the extra points, but I've got a pretty big fuel capacity, well, supplies anyway, that can deliver to your troops. That is why you only get 3 of them, and they are 40 points each, which is another reason why I've got these, because these are on 10 points. Infantry. Now infantry, straight away I'd never go with assault engineers. I've not worked out how to use them really. And also you'll notice I don't have the anti-tank unit, SMOS, because I feel that the Americans themselves they're better equipped than most infantry to deal with tanks, so you don't really need the anti-tank units. So straight away we have the best stingers, the best anti-air infantry that America have. It's not great, but it's got good accuracy, so anything comes into close range of them, they're screwed. And I've chucked them in this M11 3A3. Don't know why. Guess just has better armor capability, these guys. Although they're on the D, they're on the cheap, and I'd like to keep them slightly safe. And this can also provide some help, just rolling up behind them with obviously that M2 Browning against infantry. Next, Rifleman 90s. The main reason I chose these is because of this M60. This M60 I would probably say is the best light support weapon. I might be completely wrong with that, but it's the best. I believe it's the best. And I've went all out and threw these guys in the big M2A2 Bradley's infantry fighting vehicle. Mainly because despite having, decent armour just for a troop transport, also has that Bushmaster, which I think is extremely effective against helicopters and infantry running towards you, as well as the TOW 2, which has immaculate accuracy for dealing with tanks at a distance that they cannot shoot back at, unless I believe some of the Russian tanks have TOW missiles as well, in which case they're at the same range. But yeah, I really like the Bradleys. It's really effective if you use it wisely. Although it isn't amphibious, I've not really been in a situation so far where I need to use the amphibious assault. Next, we have the light riflemen. These are pretty much my anti-tank units for this army. They have this Super Dragoon. Although accuracy 50, they've got 8 shots and it's 2000 range, close enough to 2000 range. As well as that, they're a 10-man squad, and I threw them in the Humvee because the Humvee's nice and fast, and also has that M2 Browning which can support them from behind if they get engaged by infantry. As I'll show you, just the Humvee there. 80 kilometers an hour off-road, 150 on-road. It's a pretty quick vehicle. Next we have US Marines, 90. Just means in the 90s, but I'll keep on saying 90 like a dumb guy. They have better range and average. I believe that's the same range as the anti-tank unit. Yeah, exact same range. A little less accuracy, but I'm willing to accept that since I get an infantry squad instead of an anti-tank squad. I use this the Mini-Me, whoever fucking designed that, which, yeah, it's got decent range for like support weapon. All the ammunition, that's pretty good accuracy. Actually, is it in comparison to the like support weapons? Yeah, it's pretty good accuracy. And then these are my amphibious assault vehicles, which I've shoved in the LVTP with that big, nice 40mm frag rounds, which is really good for close infantry support, as well as the M2 Browning, which is the exact same range. And apparently you can shoot the frag rounds at helicopters. I'd like to see a situation where that happens, but it'd be hard to get to that situation because you'd need to get really close, obviously. And last but not least, my elite force, Delta Force, which I've thrown the Chinook, as usually the way I like to start games is moving up a couple of squads of elite infantry to secure the front buildings in which I plan to make my foothold anyway, secure that location. So I like to send Delta Force up there as rapid as possible. I usually support them with a couple of helicopters, and if I can afford it, some air. But yeah, I usually like to get that elite unit up at the front straight away, and then supported by the ground units and vehicles, which is why I've got these guys in the Humvee. Right, now on to support, which you've already seen most of. As you can see, I'm just using double of these. Pretty much they're the best. These ones I'm using, they're the best. They're the best. Though these ones are really good against helicopters. Although 70 points is a bit steep in price, but I mean, you're getting what you pay for pretty much. We've still got decent speed off-road. We're a bit slower on-road in comparison to most vehicles, but shouldn't slow them down. It does slow them down, but never mind. So yeah, this is, even though these Hawk Pips have better range at helicopters, I prefer to keep these 3 missiles to try and deal with jets, and leave these guys to take on helicopters, and then if the jet gets close enough, by all means it can fire at the jet. So yeah, that's my 2 units for this. As you can see, the other choices was this Avenger, which is extremely close range, but if I did get them I would get 9. Or instead of going for these, Chaparral, go ahead and just get the normal Hawk, but at the same time it doesn't have the good range on the helicopters. And last but not least, my artillery. I chose this artillery because you get 7 of them. A lot of pieces of artillery. You've got 36 rounds each, but the one up from them was which I was going to go with. The high explosive is 7, which is the exact same as this one. So is the suppression, rate of fire, just the range is decreased, which I can cope with because the majority of these maps are pretty small at the moment. Maybe when 10v10 maps are released I'll have to update to the Paladin, but until then I'm quite happy with this because I get 7 of them in comparison to 2 of these. Right, next on we have tanks. Straight away, I don't know why, I always just choose the biggest tank first. So we've got the M1A2 Abrams, the main battle tank of the American Army, I believe still at the moment. It's probably got some upgrades, but it's pretty much the same tank. Some of the best front armor on the game. Rest of the armor's never really that good. Tanks are designed to go head on. Fair enough. They're just a big metal thing on tracks, but yeah, so that's that. It's got the best range, I believe, on its main cannon for a tank, and it's got those 2 machine guns for close quarters should it need them against infantry. Next, we have the M11P Abrams. Just a cheaper version that I chose simply because you get 9 of them. Still 90 points, still pretty steep. They've still got 17 front armour, so they're still well equipped to deal with taking those shots right to the front. Yeah, I just chose it for that reason, get myself another Abrams. Next one is my support tank, which I chose primarily. I chose because it has these Saclos missiles, just because they can provide support behind my main battle tanks as my army advances up, and fire those shells at the enemy as we go. And then these Super M60s I just got because they have good front armour, they're cheap, well they're not that cheap but they're cheaper than most tanks, and they still have a 2100 range on that front gun there. Last but not least, another Abrams, yet again, just mainly because it's got great armour, it's got great range, and you get 3 of them, so I thought, why not? Okay, now with recon. Recon, straight away, I always have an infantry, a helicopter, and a land vehicle. So my land vehicle choice is a Humvee with the 40mm frag rounds, mainly because it can deal with light vehicles and infantry, although its main objective is to show me the enemy. Next we have the Navy SEALs, because they're just awesome. They also have these more frag rounds, so basically I want to blow shit up and get them sent in with this. Usually I send recon up with initial infantry, these kind of recon, and get them stuck in the front building as well, to spot anything that's coming towards the position that I'm holding. And last but not least, a chopper. I chose this one because it can support me as well with these rocket strikes, which can suppress and stun enemy light vehicles and light tanks. So that's mainly why I chose it, as well as that M2 Browning if I need any support against infantry. Right, vehicles. Vehicles is usually something that I use quite a bit as well. So firstly we've got this LAV AT, LAV anti-tank, light armoured vehicle anti-tank, lovely. Which has these tow missiles, and I think it looks kinda stupid, but I guess why not, you know. It's got 12 of these missiles, although a little less accuracy than the rest of my choices. 9 of them will be good for supporting forces and ambushes as well in the tree lines. Same as the Humvees, and the Humvees are fast so they can move about rapidly. As you can see, they have the better accuracy, AP and range, and they're only 5 points more. Next, I have these. I chose these because the Fee 150 76mm. Why did I choose these? Oh yeah, because it's got that range with the cannon, which is matches tanks, as well as the M60 on top for dealing with any infantry problems that comes along when it's supporting ground forces. It's pretty fast off-road, so I can move it rapidly about the map and get it to help. And last but not least, I know it's a random choice, the Vulcan, something with a Vulcan minigun, but these are good things just to place about in the tree lines with your infantry. Any infantry come along, they've got that 1500 meter range on them. And then as well as any helicopters or airplanes flying over top, although they have to be close, they can still damage them and stun them, supporting your forces. Right, helicopters. First we start, just because it's me, one of the most expensive units, why not? Super Cobra. Basically this is stealing, it's got anti-air missiles and anti-ground missiles. That was it, sorted, that's all I needed. And it's got anti-infantry machine gun Vulcan. Yeah, it's a machine gun, right? It's a Vulcan. And then just a cheaper variant of the Cobra, but this is more designed just for taking out infantry and ground units. It's got that 70mm rocket launcher, or rockets. It's just the exact same. And this because who doesn't want an Apache in their army? It's basically just the exact same as this, cheaper, Cobra, except it has more ground missiles, I believe. Yeah, no, it's the same. Ah, that's what it is. This can fire its Hellfire missiles on the move and they have better accuracy and AP power. And last but not least, I got these because the MH60L DAP, because they're new, they have the exact same Hellfire missiles as the previous Apache. They're cheaper obviously, but these can deal with infantry a lot better than others just because it has a minigun and the twin M230s. Bleh. Which are grenade launchers, I believe? Yeah, 30mm, no, just 30mm rounds. But they have armor piercing capability, so they can deal with light armor. And last but not least, because there's no point in going into Naval, I've already done that video if you want to go check it out. The NATO Navy. We have the AV-88, oh, 8B, Harrier 2. This is not only good for taking out ground units, because although accuracy 50%, still does the job. And it can target air units. I don't plan on using it for that. It's more for kind of ground targets. Has good EMC, which is what I got it for, because I fucking hate losing a plane just because of how much they are. And this is my main fighter, 40 ECM. But the main reason I got this for was for these massive bombs, 4 1,000 kilogram bombs, as well as it can still do damage to air units. But I primarily got this for bombing runs, even though I only get one of them in a game. And that's it. I'll just go quick through my navy. Congo, Hatsusuke, Lafayette, Oliver Hazard, Pohang, and the resupply ship. Okay, and that's it for this video. That's my American army. If you want to see the rest of my decks, I was going to say subscribe, comment and like, but I mean I don't get enough views at this point to even say that. But if you feel like it, do it anyway. Thanks for watching. Bye.